Hello, I hope you can hear me though. I'm trying to make a video and it's very late in the night, but then I've been postponing on this video for like 3 days now, and I really want to put out this video here because I'm one of those people that would like to put out videos and document it so that in the future when I'm talking about it, I always have like reference to it. So today is the 29th of August 2021, but what I'm about to talk to you guys about happened on the 26th of August. So, hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Onuyaji, and I'm just here to tell you guys how a total stranger saved my life. Where do I begin? So, it was a basic day, a normal day basically, yeah. So I woke up and then I went to work, and I wasn't necessarily expecting my boss at work that day. So now how my office works is that I'm in charge of production. I'm into fashion, so I'm helping her manage her production house. So she doesn't come around very often. She just comes in once in a while. So trust me, that day I wasn't expecting her. And then she just shows up. And anytime she shows up like this, I just know that, oh God, we're just going to keep going all over and all over with work and all. So for some reasons, when my boss comes to the factory, she leaves, let's say 2 o'clock ish. That's the latest she stays. That day she left past 5. Now my working hours are 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Yeah. So what I do is that I make sure my job. I always say that my job is to make sure everything runs smoothly in the factory. So I always make sure that before I leave the factory in the evening, the tailors have everything they need to do. So before now, I had issues with getting to work in time, blah blah blah. But I later figured out that instead of staying, my office is give or take 15 to 30 minutes from my house. But you know how Lagos traffic is, the traffic becomes very crazy. And I realized that because I rush out very early in the morning, the tailors don't necessarily need me there to start work, as far as I give them something to do before I leave the office the previous day. So now I start going to work. I leave my house, let's say 8:30, 8:40. Sometimes, trust me, I even stay up to 9 o'clock in the house. And then by then, all the rush of schools, bank jobs, 9 to 5, 8 to whatever time it is, they've all gone. So I get transportation easier and cheaper. And then I spend roughly 10-15 minutes from the bus stop to my office. Then coming back is when I literally stay in traffic because I'm coming back when everybody's coming back. So I leave the house, let's say 8:30, 8:40-ish. I get to the office few minutes past 9, latest 9:30, and everything goes on there. When it's time to come back, I leave the office 5:30, 5:40-ish, so that by 6 o'clock I'm at the bus stop. And give or take, I spend an hour or less in traffic, and then I get home. So that day, my boss was around for a very long time. I wasn't noticing when she was going to leave. In my head, I'm like, this one doesn't even know. Once it's 5:30 like this, I'm out of this place because I can't face that traffic. Because my area is a bit not safe at night, so I don't want to be in traffic in the night because I actually had an experience. Oh, I think I'm supposed to talk about that too. Yes, I'll talk about that. So I had an experience at night when I was coming back in traffic, and I told myself that, see, this job will the hustle. Now person they alive, they work cool. Now person they alive, they collect salary. Now person they alive, they hustle. So I decided to not stay out late, you understand? And so that day, my bus left around 5:27. That was almost 5:30 now. So when I go back, I was trying to give the tailors something to do. I was trying to make sure everywhere is okay, and I rushed out of the office. And then when I was rushing out, it was drizzling. So I didn't even want the rain to meet me at work because I don't drive. So I need to go to the bus stop, wait for a bus. If it's raining, I don't even know how I'm going to do any of those things. So I had to wait. I had to rush out. So I rushed out, and I went to the bus stop. When I rushed up, I called my boyfriend as of then. I called him. When I rushed out, I called my boyfriend. I told him that I was going home. I was going to call him when I got home. And then usually I talk to him. He walks me to the bus stop. And when I board the bus, I end the call because we're both speaking English. I don't want anybody to hear all the love things I'm telling him. You know that, right? So I practically end the call. So I ended the call. Luckily for me, I got it immediately. I got to the bus stop. Then my friends called. So when they called me on video call, they were like, where are you going to? I said, I go house now. Then the guy was calling. You know how these bus drivers in Lagos that they practically call a particular location, and when you get in, they now start calling the next, like the stops before you, and then they drop you on the road, and then they want to hand you over to someone else. So my friend was not hearing one place. She not say, that bus no they reach your bus stop. Hope say they no go drop you for road. And I told the guy, that guy, where did he go? And I was at the back. I said, guy, where did he go? He didn't answer me. I asked him the second time, where did he go? He now shouted at me, and I kept quiet. Anyway, I felt like, okay, I've already entered this bus. The worst that can happen is that they will transfer me. I will just spend longer times outside, you understand? And then I was in the bus. Then fortunately for me, my mom now called. So I felt like it was a good opportunity to talk to her, and she'll keep me company while I was going. Now, I don't like talking to my friends or my boyfriend when I'm in the bus, but with my mom, I know I was going to speak Tiv, and then every other thing I'm saying is going to be neutral, you understand? So there wasn't necessarily anything I felt like. And then I'm in Lagos. How many Tiv people do we have in Lagos? That kind of a thing. So she just called me. We just stayed for long. I keep saying this. I feel like every time I say this, I feel like I'm a mommy's girl, but I've had the best relationship of my life with my mom the past few years. Like, if not even the past few years, from last year till now. Now, I've always liked my mom. Everybody around me knows that I don't joke with my mom, but I've never really had that relationship with her. It's just a known fact that, oh, Esther likes her mom. She doesn't just, but I would stay and not talk to my mom in a month, in weeks. Like, even when she calls me, I'll be like, how are you? Hi. There was that, not that connection. There was just that, because she's your mom, but everybody knew how dear I was to my mom. So when my immediate elders were four girls, so the two of them ahead of me. The first got married and the next one got married. When that one got married, my youngest is just very small. 17 years older than that one. That one is a baby. They on your side. So when that one got married, my friend told me that this one that your sister is getting married, you and your mom will become very close. I was like, it cannot happen now. I know I love my mom, but that relationship we didn't build it when we're growing up, so it's not there. She was like, she will not have a choice but to be talking to you now all the time. Plus, say now you did next to marriage, but they don't want to talk your matter, they disturb you. And like a joke, I got really, really close to my mom after my eldest sister got married. And last year, COVID year, made it even better because I spent 2 months plus at home because I was running my business. I'm a tailor. So if there are no parties, you can't make money. If people are not going out, why are you making money? People are not doing events anymore. So I was practically just in Lagos doing nothing. So immediately they said the lockdown. Okay, truth be told, the lockdown was not eased. I went home before the lockdown was easier. There was a way, you know how Naira Marley was flying private jets when there was lockdown. That was the same way we that no get money for private jets. But finding our ways around the roads, even though there was a lockdown. So I went home before they eased the lockdown. This video is becoming so long and I've not gotten to what I want to say. Okay, long story short, I was just stay with my mom. We're talking, and then I got like, that was after I've had that issue with my driver. I was like, hope you're taking me to my bus stop. Like, I'm not going to do this thing with you and all of those things. So I just stayed with my mom. I spoke about my relationship. I spoke about house stuff. I spoke about, like, you know, when you're talking to your mom, you're talking about family things, like very deep stuff. In fact, she even asked me, she called me when I get home, but then I realized I was spending so much time in traffic. Then when I get home, I'll be tired. I would just want to sleep. I will not have that conversation. So I was like, let's just go ahead with this conversation. She was speaking to, no one will hear us now. Let's just go ahead. Then guess what? More than halfway, in fact, I was almost at my bus stop. The guy now started signaling to me like, hey, sis, you know how they do your money. Just for me to open my bag. Lo and behold, I left my whole purse in the office. Now, I'm not a very organized person, so I find myself scattering monies around. If you know me and you live with me, you already understand that I don't keep track of money. If I have money, people around me will enjoy. So I just scatter money around. I don't even know, even up to now, I don't know how much I have in my purse. Most times I just have an estimate. Okay, I have like 5,000 naira ish. I have like 2,000 naira ish. Or even, I don't know. If I just start counting monies that I have and it gets to 5,000 in my head, or it gets to 1,000 in my head, that 1,000 will be enough for transport. Automatically, my brain is not counting the remainder. In my head, I'm like, okay, I shall get enough money, will carry me, go out, come back. So I don't do any of those things. So that day, I wanted to go to work with my big bag, my big handbag, and I didn't want to take my lunch bag. So, because I wasn't taking much things to work, so I decided to put everything in my bag. And before I could do that, I needed to sort out the bag. So that day of all days, I now removed my money, sorted it out, and put it in my purse and put it in my bag. When I got to the office, I removed the purse and put it in my locker in the office. Now, but because my boss was around, and if my boss is around, she uses my desk, because my desk is the only official place in the office. She was there, and then immediately she left, I rushed out. Now, the only thing I was conscious of was my ATM, because I sent one of the staff to get something for me. So the ATM was on my desk. So I was very particular, because they just sent money for factory runs in that account. So I didn't want to leave it and hear stories at touch. I took that ATM, put it in my bag. My purse, everything. I just told my mom. I just told her that does she know what's happened? Like, I was speaking Tiv, my local dialect. I was like, does she know what just happened? She said, what? I said, I forgot my whole purse in the office because I was rushing out to meet up with traffic. I'd be to catch up with this whole traffic thing. I didn't want the traffic to meet me. My mom was so confused. I was just laughing. She said, why am I laughing? It's a very serious matter. That what am I going to do? And I said, Mommy, now I don't know how. Now the one I don't know what I have to do. Let me make me laugh, because at that point I was confused, because I don't believe all this food. I'll enter bus and say I'm supposed to go to CMS. I came to visit somebody. In my head, I'm like, so will I now beg inside this bus? Like, I was just laughing. I'm looking at the driver signal that, yes. I was just laughing. Then my mom was really worried. Like, so what am I going to do now? She now said, okay, let her end the phone call so that I'll beg the people around. I think one hefty guy was sitting beside me, and one woman that had one very long face. In my head, I'm like, which amongst these people am I supposed to beg for money now? So, worst case scenario, me, when it gets to that point, like they say, you can't shame the shameless. I forgot the purse. That's the worst that can happen. The driver will not beat me, or even if he beats me, say somebody will be there to help me. And instead of begging, and then somebody looking at me like, oh, slay queen, no get money, you know, that kind of a thing. In my head, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to tell this driver that, Oga, forget my purse for office. So he can decide to insult me. I will just be begging him that, Oga, I'm sorry. Oga, I'm sorry. Maybe if he refuses to answer me, maybe someone in the bus, if the person sees that I'm really, really genuine, the person will now help me and pay. So for my head, I don't calculate them. But now how I go open my talk am? How I go open my talk am? I don't know. I just sat down. I was just checking my purse. Then I picked my call. I wanted to call my friends, because those ones now, they go tell me, say, Esther, what do you want to do? I just picked my call and wanted to touch my friend. The next thing, I just saw someone, the woman in front of me just stretched out 500. So within a split of seconds, in my head, I was like, okay, maybe the bus driver forgot that I paid him and wanted to give me back my change. Or I felt like they were giving the money to someone else. But she was actually giving the money to me. People of God, that woman was thief. See, this thing, like my friend would say, the oil went in your head, it still they shine. Like, I was confused. Like, no one would expect if people are not, well, now we have a lot of tea people in Lagos now, though, but then I really don't understand how that was possible. You understand? Like, I had, oh God, I feel like my friend is going to call me, and this video will stop. But in my wildest imagination, number one, I said very deep stuff with my mom because I felt no one was listening to me. But that, even though it was deep, it wasn't like I was telling her to go and kill somebody. We're just talking family stuff generally, like things that we wanted to do, things that we've done before, but plans that we had for the future. It was something, naturally, if I knew someone was listening to me, I'll tell her that I will talk to her about it later. But because I didn't know someone was listening, so, but the good thing I could say in that is that at the end of it, that lady helped me. So in my head, I was like, what would I have to? She gave me 500. That 500 was enough for me to pay my bus to my bus stop, pick a bike to my estate, and then pick one to my house. Like, as if she knew where I was going to. She just stretched. I was so surprised. And I told my mom. And I said, oh my God, I needed to call my mom. And I called my mom and told her that, does she know what just happened? She now said no. I said, the lady in front of me is thief. And she heard when I told you that I left my purse in the office, and she gave me money. My mom was so happy. She gave the lady the phone. The lady was very shy. She just said, like, good afternoon. That's Upandive, my tribe. Good afternoon. But there are two things. I think the lady is very shy and didn't want to talk too much, or the lady is all these people that understand but can't speak, because she didn't necessarily talk. My mom was just praying and praying. No mothers now. She prayed and prayed. And I just kept smiling. In my head, I'm like, God, this God, see, the oil every day in my head. You know when they say her star they shine, now maybe that, because my embarrassment I forget inside that boss that day. And these boss guys, you're not very friendly, especially when they look at you like you're someone that is doing okay, and then you do that, they'll use the opportunity to even insult you. But God turned it around for good for me. I don't know, the lady, she didn't even let me know before she got there. I think I got carried away with a call. I didn't even notice when she got down, but in case for some reason so this video goes viral and she sees it, I'm so grateful for you. I'm really happy. My sister keep telling me that things happen to me and I don't know how these things happen, and I scale through situations I don't know how. It's God. See, the Christian in me will not let me feel like it's chance. Is it, they say chance and time, and be time and chance. I don't care. It's God. How is it possible that all this while I've been entering a bus, I didn't see anybody that is Steve, I didn't hear anybody talk to you, then all of a sudden the day I decided to speak to you, or there are some days I enter the bus, my mom wants to talk to me, I say, Mommy, I'll call you back. How come it was that day I decided that, okay, I'm not going to call her back, let me just talk to her inside this bus? And then someone got to hear me and the person offered me money. Like, that was a huge miracle. So that was how I got saved by a total stranger and a sister. Now, if you're from Benue, you know that we're all siblings. In Benue, we are different families, but once we leave Benue and we meet ourselves outside, we're all brothers and sisters. So thank you to a dear sister that I don't know her name. I can't even remember her face because she was facing forward, so I couldn't even see her. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. Thank you for wiping the embarrassment off my face, because in as much as I felt like, oh, that's the worst that can happen, but I was still really scared. I didn't know how the bus driver was going to take it. So thank you. That was how a stranger saved me. Thank you so much. And if you've watched this video up to this very point, like my friend would say, what are you waiting for? Subscribe, like, click the notification bell so that anytime I post all my interesting stories, you'll be there to listen. For now, bye. Because Dorcas always does it. Bye. I feel like I'm literally beginning to think that is what. Normally, I always do the bye. But now Dorcas has turned that to be like a signature. So if I now do bye, it's like I'm copying my friend. But then it's not bad to copy your friend now, is it? It's not bad at all. But now this video is too long. I'll see you guys on my next one. Bye.